Every night, the camera showed someone else in my room. When I said this for the first time, even I didn't take myself seriously. I told myself it was just strange noises, just an old house, just exhaustion. The human brain can imagine many things at night. But the problem was this: the camera wasn't imagining anything. The camera showed what it saw, and every night it showed the same thing: me and someone who wasn't me. The house I had just moved into wasn't different from the previous ones. Simple, quiet, located on a narrow street. All I wanted was to be alone. Silence. At first, the silence felt pleasant, even comforting, but after a while, something strange began to fill it, as if there was no sound inside the house, but there was a presence. I remember the first night I heard it clearly. It was close to 3 in the morning. I woke up suddenly with the feeling that someone was watching me. The room was dark. I didn't move. I focused on listening. There was a very faint sound coming from the wooden floor. It wasn't footsteps. It wasn't a creak either. It was something in between. In the following nights, the sounds returned, always at the same time, always stopping beside my bed. I didn't move. I barely breathed. A strange fear filled me, as if opening my eyes would permanently change my life. One night, I heard breathing. It wasn't mine. It was deeper, slower, and very close. That was when I decided I had to know. I didn't buy the camera because of fear. I bought it because of doubt. Doubt in my own mind. The camera had motion detection, night vision, and was connected directly to my phone. I placed it in the upper corner of the room. The bed, the door, the walls, everything was visible. The first 2 nights, nothing happened. That calmed me a little. I told myself it was over. But on the 3rd night, my phone vibrated. 2:41 a.m., motion detected. I was in bed. I hadn't moved. I opened the live feed. The room was empty. I was sleeping. Nothing was there. But when I watched the recording in the morning, my chest tightened. The shadow on the wall was changing, but this wasn't a normal shadow. The darkness was separating from the wall, as if it were emerging from inside it. It began to take shape. It looked human, almost, but not completely. The figure had no legs. It slid. It didn't walk. It moved closer to my bed, stopped, and turned its head toward me. At that moment, the video froze for a few seconds. Then the figure disappeared. And during all of this, I had not moved at all. After that day, I wanted to turn the camera off, but I couldn't, because now I knew something was there, and if I didn't watch it, it would watch me. The next night, notifications came one after another. 3:06 a.m. In the first video, the room looked normal. In the second, someone was standing beside the bed, very tall. Its arms were unnaturally long. Its head was slightly tilted. It had no face, just a black void. A third video completely broke me. The camera was no longer filming me. It was pointed at it. Someone had moved the camera. The figure was very close to the lens, and slowly, it tilted its head. It was a greeting. That night, I ran out of the house. I didn't even put my shoes on properly. I didn't look back, because I knew if I did, I would come face to face with what I had seen on the camera. A few days later, I found another place. Newer, brighter. I took the camera with me. I needed to prove to myself that the problem was the house. For the first 7 nights, nothing happened. I relaxed. On the 8th night, I got a notification. 3:12 a.m. I opened the video. New room, new bed, but the same figure. This time, it was sitting on the bed, and in the video, I wasn't there. I don't know where I was. But I know this, after that night, I turned the camera off, because some things, when they realize they are being watched, come closer. Now I sleep in the dark, without a camera, but sometimes I still feel like someone is watching me. Only this time, there is no camera at all. And that was the most terrifying part of all. After the night I turned the camera off, sleep lost its meaning. Sleeping was no longer rest. Sleeping became waiting with your eyes closed, waiting for something to arrive. The darkness was not silent. The darkness was listening. It counted every breath I took. During the first days, I tried to convince myself that it was over. No camera meant no proof. No proof meant no fear. But fear does not need proof. Fear exists to be felt. I began waking up every night at the same time, 10 minutes before 3, every single time. It felt as if an invisible alarm was ringing inside me. I would open my eyes. The room was dark. Everything seemed normal. But the air felt heavy, as if the oxygen had been drained. Breathing became difficult. One night I heard whispering, not words, just a sound. Right beside my ear, my breath stopped. I couldn't move. My body was frozen. In that moment, I understood this was no longer just fear. This was control. I slowly turned my eyes toward the wall. There was a shadow, but there was no one casting it. The shadow was moving, slowly stretching, from the wall to the floor, from the floor to the bed, and then toward me. I wanted to scream. No sound came out. I wanted to run. My legs refused to obey. The shadow reached my chest. I felt cold, an unnatural cold, as if life itself was being pulled out of me. Then I heard a voice, soft, calm, clear. You thought I couldn't see you. The voice didn't come from the room. It came from inside my head. I closed my eyes, hoping it would end, but it didn't. That's when I realized closing your eyes is not escape. In the days that followed, I started finding strange marks on my body, long scratches on my arms, red fingerprints on my neck. But the worst moment came when I looked in the mirror. There were dark shadows under my eyes. They weren't mine. They were deeper, as if someone else was looking out from inside me. One night, I gathered the courage to turn the camera on again, just to check, just to prove that everything was in my head. I activated the camera and watched the live feed. The room was empty. I was lying in bed, but there was something wrong. The camera was showing me. And I was holding my phone, watching the camera. The version of me on the screen didn't move. His eyes were open, and he was smiling. The phone slipped from my hand because I understood something terrible. The camera was no longer watching it. The camera was watching me. And I was no longer entirely here. Now, some nights I hear a voice again. It sounds exactly like mine, but I am not speaking. Something else whispers using my voice, and it keeps repeating the same sentence. Now it's your turn. If, while reading this, the silence in your room suddenly feels heavier, if the shadows seem to move just a little more than they should, if you keep waking up near 3 in the morning for no reason, maybe you don't need a camera anymore, because some things are already watching you.